that little speech was going on. Appreciate that. What you're going to notice throughout my presentation is that actually I'm wearing a white t-shirt throughout the whole project. It's so hot in the US. I definitely underestimated it. I had some hoodies, I had a whole bunch of shirts. But anyway, let's get into my project, and I'm sure you have any questions. Feel free to ask any questions at the end. And let's go for it. All right, so as you can see, this is the journey. These are the places I went to. I went to Los Angeles straight away. I had a long flight, didn't sleep through any of it, and then I did 1 to 2 weeks in Los Angeles, then to Chicago, and then from Chicago I went to Atlanta, and Atlanta to New York. So that was the journey, and I was honoured to be part of that. Anyway, these are the focus areas that I was working on while I was in the US. Music, obviously. My project was called Sonic Bridges, as you've seen, and the whole part of my project was to research music and community initiatives that are based on local priorities like disadvantaged youth. So I was working with a whole bunch of organisations that you can hear about. So these are the main things here. Go to the next one. And bam, LA. All right, next slide. This is myself and an organisation called Jazz Hands for Autism. Awesome group of people, and all of the musicians and singers that you see in this group were one of the group of young people and autistic people that I was able to kind of research and collaborate with. I was doing music projects with them, helping them with writing songs and playing as a band, and it was a great experience. I still have a good connection with them now. And they taught me a lot of interesting things about how their projects are run and how they're funded in the US, and how they use interesting kind of funding schemes to get those projects to continue to run, because they're not government funded as well. So all right, cool. And these are some of the cool people that have helped me along the journey while I was in the US, who I've worked with in the past. In the middle, I'll start to the left. So this is actually the mum of this artist called Kariko, who's she hosted me through an organisation called Servus. Servus is an awesome organisation. It helps host a whole bunch of people when they're travelling for up to 2 nights for free, and then you get to learn about their culture. And luckily, this lady, she introduced me to her daughter, who also did music and helped people through creating TikTok content that was funded for interesting initiatives like homelessness. So, and she's an awesome artist. And then this is a director I've worked with in the past. Got to connect with him again, and I met this drummer here who played for Keith Richards, and the Americans just inspired me out. He just let me into his home, into his studio, and we were able to just collaborate and speak about different projects, and we're still in contact to this day. So there's just some connections that I was able to form. I'm trying to get through it as quick as possible, because I'm sure there's a whole bunch of questions. And also, this is a really cool composer called Dan, and he brought me into his. He hosted me, and I was above Kamala Harris's house, so I was able to look down on her and judge it. He was a really cool composer. He had his own studio, and we went to this school called the Palisades Charter High School. Unfortunately, it's actually burnt down now. Wow. So they're just rebuilding their school now. But,
in the LA fires.
In the LA fires, So I only found out about a week ago. I was working with them, with their young people. They do a music project before schools actually start. So it's from people from all different backgrounds come, and then they work on music and learn how to actually play in a classical context, and learn sheet music and how to read. That was eye-opening as well. Some of the techniques and how they were able to engage some of the youth as well, which I was able to just apply even today. I was doing a project with disadvantaged youth just today in a school in London. All right, let's go. Some cool, iconic you know, locations. I'm not like the best at taking photos, so you'll notice that throughout the whole project. But that is actually how big the chairs are. I haven't got the angle that bad. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of places I've left out because I did take a lot of photos, but I don't want to overwhelm you with information. But yeah, these places were awesome. The view at the top of the observatory was cool, and I even went past that. I went to the top. I've got a video where I was at the top, and it was just myself at the top of the mountain, and then I was looking around and I was thinking, oh, they have bears in the US, so I thought, all right, I better go, and so I ran all the way down the mountain. Honestly. Yeah. All right, next one. Chicago. Oh yeah, then I flew to Chicago, and then landed straight and met this awesome organisation called Uniting Voices Chicago, and yeah, they again help disadvantaged youth get into music, and you know, really just engage these young people and you know, help them into work as well through gaining music education qualifications as well. It's all for free. Well, most of the people kind of attend for free, and yeah, it's a great organisation. Yeah, I did get. Please don't look at the podcast, but I did actually get interviewed on this podcast that's actually live. Yeah, one connection. Yeah, someone else said this. One connection. Freya said it. So one connection always leads to another. So somehow I ended up on this podcast. But I won't tell you the whole story. But yeah. So then I also was able in Chicago to go see Squeeze, who I did a writing camp in 2024 with Chris Difford, and I just sent him an email of myself next to his poster, and he said, "I'll get you on the guest list." So that was cool. And then you did a writing camp as well, didn't you? Anyway, yeah. So these are some musicians that I also met, collaborated with, and then yeah. So it was pretty culturally enriching for sure. Yeah. And I was able to connect with the Firehouse Community Centre. These guys do incredible work, and this is really, yeah, it's some of the stories that they shared about some of the youth who were, you know, into some quite serious things. They were able to kind of employ them and completely transform their life, and yeah, they kind of just opened up their premises, and I was able to speak with them, and he's actually the guy who runs it is actually a pastor as well, so I was yeah, it was super cool. All right, next slide, please. Yes, the Cloud Gate, obviously. Everyone's ever been to Chicago? Yeah, did you go? Yeah. And then also, I wasn't able to go and give a lecture into the Roosevelt University, but I was able to, you know, go in a little bit, have a little bit of an explore, and right next to it there was also a classical music venue, and I was able to see a classical music orchestra called the Sinfonietta Orchestra, which is a very diverse orchestra, because usually orchestras can be, you know, not that diverse. So I was able to go see a classical performance, which you'll see kind of later on down the line. Definitely, even a month after I came back, had a big impact on what I did after I came back. So you're going to see that in a sec. But yeah, I was able to go to a food festival as well, which was in the heart of Chicago, which was where I was staying as well, which was cool. Yeah. Anyway, and then into Atlanta, landed, and this is the first night. There was another classical music event called Symphony in the Park. And yeah, it's a free music concert where, you know, people were able to just experience classical music for free in this huge park. I didn't have a direct connection with them, but it was just something that I experienced straight away, and I was able to kind of think about different events that I wanted to do in the future that were free to inspire people. And yeah, you'll see about a project that I did after. Anyway, all right, so Stone Mountain. Awesome place. I didn't go to the top of the mountain though, but yeah. What's that?
With the bears there?
There's probably definitely bears, but it's supposedly where they filmed Last of the Mohicans as well, and that was my childhood favourite film. So I wish I could have gone up, but it was a bit too rainy, a bit slippery, and the person I was with didn't want to go up. But one of the best days I had while I was in the US was the Streets of Alive festival, where I was able to just ride on a bike all the way through, like for about 45 minutes through the streets of Atlanta because they were all closed. And I was just riding, it was amazing. Then I got to this festival that I knew was on, I connected with some people there. And then I also checked out a printing press that was based on old plantation in Atlanta, which was cool. All right. And then, yeah, this is the same Streets of Alive festival. I was able to meet this amazing lady who runs Showability, which is a platform for disabled artists. So there was disabled artists performing, and then after she performed, we kind of went back to her recording studio, and I got to see how some of the projects were running. And yeah, a whole bunch of things that were definitely interesting to learn about. This guy was one of the guys who I met in the studio on the left, Siobhan Scott, and he's a singer and producer who I was able to hear about his journey being a disabled artist, and it was very eye-opening. And then just connected with some musicians and music lawyer while I was out there. Next slide. And then landed into New York, and met with this Bloomingdale Music Center, and it was a really cool experience because she was very accommodating, and I really got stuck in on for a few days on their music projects, helping out and just learning about how they kind of formulate their projects, because they've been going for 61 years, 60 years when I was there, and they're in the heart of New York, and they kind of explained how they were able to take on the building and kind of keep their projects moving with their funding structure, and just how they formulated their projects. So that was pretty cool. And then Brooklyn Bridge, that was very hot that day. I was walking through a lot of the US just to experience the streets, and then that was a very hot day. And then I checked out the 9/11 Memorial and Sleep No More immersive experience. These are all like separate days. I didn't all do this in one day, but some days were super busy like that as well. But anyway, if you ever get a chance, check out the Sleep No More experience. It's by a company called Punch Drunk, and it's like over. Has anyone been? No. No one's checked out Punch Drunk.
No.
Wow. It's like an immersive exhibition where you go inside these rooms, and there's different people coming in the room, and kind of all of the different plays coming to one again. Another amazing studio that I was able to check out was Sonic Junkie. I had 3 recorded. Oh man, sorry. Be some modest for a second. So I actually found out about this artist called Sonic Junkie, and he was like an amazing like music. Damn. He's an amazing musician. Unfortunately. Right. Yeah, he passed away about 2 years ago, and I used to follow his work. And they made a free recording studio for people to attend who was in honor of him, which is crazy because I was listening to his music a lot and inspired by how he would use all of these machines that you see here. And then now, the studio is a place for people to go. I sound like I'm upset. I didn't personally know it, but So through the connection with the Roosevelt scheme, I was able to connect with Sarah Shoemaker. So thank you, Russ. And yes, she was the President Roosevelt's great-granddaughter, and we had a great conversation about just politics in general, and it was interesting to learn about her political stance, which I won't go into because we're not going there. But we had a great time, and just speaking with her about politics and investing helped inspire the next step of my life, for sure, which you'll see as well. Just one connection leads to another, and then suddenly you're in this studio with this director called Alexis, and he's got like every bit of equipment that you could ever imagine that you wanted to have as a musician, just in his New York home. Okay, next slide, yeah. Okay, so as soon as I came back, I wanted to hit the ground running. So I was able to do a project with the Nottingham University Hospital Youth Service, and this is a program for like young people that are in long-term health care and health situations, and they usually go to this youth club, and there's no music provisions in the youth club, and we're able to engage with them through Inspire Youth Arts, who I work with, to kind of deliver a music project with them and engage all of them. By the end we had like a song and a music video, but also we've continued to do that project, and you know, they found it very rewarding, and a lot of the musicians are now kind of progressing, which is great. So that's just one thing I've done, which is very rewarding. And then if anyone went to Nottingham Light Night, anyone go? Yeah? Yeah, cool. So I managed to make the music for it, for the whole show that you would have seen. But one of the most rewarding things was actually working with the young people to come up with the whole concept. So yeah, they actually came up with the whole structure of exactly how they wanted to flow. We had all the different sheets on the floor, and they mapped out the whole story, and then I had to turn that into music, and that was a very rewarding experience in that perfect intersection of being creative as an artist, but also helping these young people create as well. So, and then kind of crazy, right? So today my voice has gone a bit wobbly, but somehow I was able to speak in to this many people in March this year. So and wear a suit as well. I couldn't wear a suit today because it's a bit too hot, sorry. Another thing I wanted to do when I got back was just hit the ground running and just kill it. So what I did was I connected back with one of my Indian business partners who manages this composer called Ilya Raja, and we put together a symphony recording in Glasgow, 88-piece orchestra, and I project managed the whole thing from start to finish. And we worked with all the orchestra and all the team to make it happen. We made a documentary that you should check out. Definitely don't check out the podcast. But yeah, this is a cool documentary just to see, it's almost on 600,000 now, so definitely check that out. So I wanted to then take a next step. So I connected with my old agent because I was a bit of an artist, composer, still am, as you can see with the Nottingham Light Night, but so I wanted to connect with him, so I connected my old agent to him to represent his classical side, and we just did a show. That's the images from the show in Hammersmith Apollo. Wow. So yeah, we brought together a huge show to the table, and then now we've got Dubai in October, and a stadium show in September somehow that we're putting together. Yeah, cheers. They told me to introduce the whole thing 5 minutes before the show. That's maybe why my voice wasn't, it didn't crack. Also, I was only on for probably 30 seconds. But yeah, alright, next slide. So some future things that we'll be doing, obviously, pushing the project further by expanding into new schools is one thing that we're doing. And then continuing the collaborations with the composer through the company called Mercury, which we've set up a UK arm for. So we're doing a lot of we're trying to just push the music business things that we're doing, the shows, endorsements, and a whole bunch of other things that we've got on the table already, which is awesome. And then continuing to make these projects happen in a sustainable way on the community side. So that's basically